Lender Mike. I'm the host for Chicago of Financing the American Dream. Today we're actually in Miami at Cardone Capital to talk to the man, Grant Cardone himself, who is inspiring people to have a better mindset to get success in every area of their life, personal and business. So let's go learn more about that.
Today, you guys introduce yourselves.
Mike Wieczorek from Illinois, here to talk with Grant a little bit about what you guys do and what it's done for me as well. So
awesome. Nice to have you.
Normally when it's raining outside, everyone kind of gets a little gloomy and doomy. But at the end of the day, man, we're gonna freaking light this place up. And it's closeout, it's not closed down. Another great day for the world's baddest freaking sales team. Let's roll.
Guys, doesn't it feel good?
So good.
In a place where the content's so rich it would drip off any page and stuff.
Demand that sales quotas be met by holding yourself and your people accountable daily. Be in sales.
we're here today with the Grant Cardone at Cardone Capital here in Miami.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, my pleasure, truly. And today we're going to talk a little bit about, well, hopefully a lot of bit about mindset and what it takes to have the right one in both personal and your professional life.
Yeah.
And how those intertwine with each other.
Good.
All right. Grant, what does a guy that seemingly has everything, that has put himself through something most recently that seemed to have tried every core value that he had, what does somebody like you today strive for? What's your new, if it's been reinvented, what's your American dream today? What does that look like?
I just want to reach my potential. You know, it's not about stuff and cars and planes and money or numbers, but it is about how can I make a difference? How can I reach my, like, something inside of me something that I haven't yet done. And I'm inspired by so many people that we all know the names of people that are just doing just amazing things right now in this world where things are changing so quick, new technologies coming, new opportunities. Like, it's just an exciting time to be alive. And to truly, not just the American dream, but your own personal dream, you know. And I know that's, we were in 19 countries before the country shut down, before the world shut down. And that American dream theme is present in every single country I go to. It's in Sydney, it's in Singapore, like everywhere, right? Everybody wants the dream of reaching their potential. So that's really what's driving me.
And I'll tell you what has driven me is to truly dig deep to know what that potential is.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody shortchanges it, right? So like your teachings, all that stuff really has taught me to dig deep and to take that action now.
Yeah,
right?
well, good.
I even have it tattooed on my wrist.
That's awesome.
I stopped wearing watches. This is the most valuable one I have.
Yeah.
But
awesome.
It has motivated me in my personal life to be who I am through, through a lot of your videos. I was like, I can actually do what I do every day in business, and then people respond to that?
Yeah.
Well, I found out a lot more rapidly and a lot more people.
Yeah.
Right? So what I see here in your office is people are able to harness the power of themselves. How do you inspire people on a day-to-day in your business to really dig deep and
Yeah.
find what is important to them and then act as themselves day to day.
I don't try to inspire people. Like, I'm not waking up today saying I got to go inspire my team and I got to make them great and I got to make them better. They have to have that. So I create the vessel, I create the opportunity, the vehicle for people to drop into. 50% of them probably will not take full advantage of what's here. And then there's going to be some other percentage that is like, I want more responsibility. Yeah. I want to be a leader here. And I think the only thing I can give anyone is an example. My example is not always the right example. Part of why I did Undercover Billionaire was I have been teaching and educating people and inspiring people to do something else, or attempting to inspire an audience to do something more for 35 years. Yeah. And when Discovery came to me and said, hey, would you do this undercover thing where you don't have any money, you don't have your name, and you got to turn $100 into $1 million business? I'm like, when are we going to start?
Right.
Because now in that 3-month crazy mission that I was on, with no money and I can't use my name, shaved my head, I don't have to lecture or teach anybody. I'm like, just watch what I do. So the short answer to that is example. Like, I come in here and I just set an example. People see me show up every day. They see me show up on Saturdays. They see me working Sunday nights. Like, I set the example. People can decide whether they want to emulate that and or just deny it and go do their own deal. Like, I just know emulation and almost not copying, but when my dad died at 10, like, I wanted a mentor. I wanted an example. I didn't, and when he died, he went away. I just started looking for other examples. And a lot of those examples, particularly in my teenage years, were bad examples. And I went down the wrong road.
Right. I can identify with that myself.
Sure.
Again, the book, the way that it speaks to people and what I want to inspire people is like, hey, the massive action thing, I was really doing it all the time.
Just in the wrong places.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, something I want to go back at is like giving people something very tangible they can put their hands on and work with every single day.
Yeah.
And for me, it was just, like you're saying, show up, right? Like, show up and be truthful in what you're doing. And people will come out of the woodwork and say, wait a minute, you went through that? Mm-hmm. You did that? You don't know that? And it's inspired others to kind of come on my team of friendship or business. So where have you derived like your greatest business relationships from? Have they been initially in a successful transaction, or I know that you find opportunity in problems. So like, where are some of the coolest relationships come from that you've established through action?
Look, I just show up, back to the show up thing, like, I show up. I just show up. I'm 63 years old. I shouldn't know anything about social media, nothing. I should know nothing. Most of the guys that are playing in the space that have big audiences are much younger than I am. But I have learned how to use these mechanisms as channels to communicate with people. I'm highly interested in people. And I know that, and again, on that show, on Undercover Billionaire, I didn't worry about the money. I worried about the people. I was accumulating people throughout the show. The first 10 days I had a target of 100 people. I want to make 100 good contacts of qualified people in Pueblo. I'd never been to Pueblo. I wanted to make those contacts there because I knew those people are already in play. And I think that this is a thing that we miss, the younger generations. And when I was growing up, I was not told, go make contact with people. Right. I was told, go get a job. And a job is one thing, but people are the vehicle. People are the connection. People are the expansion to whatever you want. Like, if a dream's gonna come true, you're gonna make money, you're gonna buy a house, a car, whatever you want in life, there's a person on the other end of that transaction. Mm-hmm. And so the more you can put yourself in play with people to develop a relationship, whether there's a deal, money or not, the opportunity really is, without sounding opportunist, is connections with people.
It's interesting. I mean, the stuff that comes out in your book, it helped me live. I sit here today super healthy, healthier than I ever have been. And I wrote in my goals when I was damn near dead that I'm in perfect health. Mm-hmm. I'm in perfect health.
Yeah.
And I'm like, in my head, I was like, that's probably not happening, right?
Yeah.
3 surgeries later, half my intestines gone, both my hips fixed.
Wow.
And I show up here talking to you.
Wow. And the gorilla in the background.
Whatever, like, it's wild. But it's what you just said. It put things in perspective. For the first time, it made me still.
Wow.
I don't stay in one place. I don't even sit down at work. But I had to feed myself out of a bag for 3 months, and I saw who showed up.
Wow.
Who showed up, who did it, and also me. Did I show up?
Well done, dude.
I'm watching my 3 babies run around the house, and my now soon-to-be ex not supporting that. And it wasn't overnight, but I was like, you know what? My babies, the people that see me, deserve this success story even more than I. So how does somebody like me take this story? Like, everyone's got a story, right? Everyone's got a story. There's this, there's that, but how does somebody like me take this opportunity, right? I bought a GrowthCon ticket before 3 years ago. Today's the anniversary of the first GrowthCon that I went to.
Wow.
I got that time hop. And now I'm sitting here with you. To me, that's my American dream, but I haven't attained it yet. I'm writing it, right? So how does somebody like me continue the progression, continue the momentum, and inspire enough people that I continue to get to do what I love doing, which is showing them a different way?
Well, you know, I a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this, but I don't think it's the story. I don't think what happened to you, what you went through, is the play.
Correct.
Like, I think it is. That's filler.
Yep.
That's a conversation, but it's not where I want to spend my time, right? I want to spend my time, where am I going? Like, so for me, the thing I'm doing now is more important than what happened to me then.
That's right.
Like, I had a guy beat me with a .45 caliber pistol when I was 23 years old. He jammed the freaking barrel of the gun in my face and said, down. One word, down. I took a plate, he was robbing me, and I took a plate, crashed it in his face. He took that .45, jammed it in my face, took the butt of it, hit it over both eyes, in my mouth, behind both elbows, got on top of me and just banged me for 70 stitches. Now, that story is compelling, it's colorful. There was blood on every wall. There was blood on the ceilings. There was blood in a brick, like, it was terrible. I was in a hospital for 3 days. Unbelievable story. The problem with that story is it's in the past. And if I spend too much time in the past, I cannot create the future. I cannot do both things at the same time. It's impossible. You just can't. You just can't be there and go there, you know? And so I spent too much time in my past, telling my story, connecting with other people that had big losses. And while it felt good, therapeutic, and I know some people, many people will, oh, you gotta go deal with it and you gotta handle it. Okay, but talk to yourself about that, because I'm done spending time back there. I want a new story. I'm tired of the old stories. I wanna create a new story. I wanna be an example of not that, of what I can build and create that's positive to make a difference for the better. And it's over. That's over, except in my mind. And the more times I tell that story out, the more real that story becomes to me, and the more stuck I am in that moment, right? So, you know, I would just tell you, like, you got to start creating new stories that you choose to create. Like that thing that happened to you. You could just start mocking up the new things that you want to create. It's pretty easy to do. I can decide what I want to do today, you know.
Here I am.
I'm here with you today.
Exactly what I want to do.
Exactly.
And that's my focus has been like, no one knew I was sick because I didn't talk about it. Everyone's like, you were sick?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's my problem. I was dealing with it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
But
let me just say, part of why I did that show, Undercover Billionaire, was not just to prove I could take $100 and turn it into $1 million business in 90 days. I wanted a new story to tell. A lot of what I do every day is like, I'm doing that, not because there's an opportunity, it's because there's a new story to tell. I can't wait to tell that story, that I attempted it and failed, or I attempted it and got it.
So how do I make sure in my future story, I'm here with you, right?
Yeah.
How do I continue that level of momentum?
Number one, impress yourself. Like, I'm trying to impress me every day. I'm not trying to impress the world. If I impress me at this point in my life, I know the world's going to pay attention. So when I did Undercover Billionaire, it was like, I want to see if I can do it. It did it for me first. Number two, I did it for my family. I'm like, I want to keep my family's attention on what we're doing. Okay, not the problems, what we could do and the potential. The third is my employees. If you were at my morning meeting this morning, I want my employees excited. By the way, I haven't even talked about a customer yet. Me, my family, my employees. Number four, my competition. If I have any perceived competition in the marketplace, I want them paying attention to what I'm doing, because the moment I can get them to pay attention to what I'm doing, they're not doing anything. They literally give ground up to me. And the fifth thing is the customer. If I can get the first four people to pay attention to me, my family, my employees, and the competition, I'm gonna get a customer. And then I have a story to tell. Like I'm trying to buy the building right behind me right now, okay? We should have it under contract here in the next 24 hours. That's a big story. There's a big hotel in Miami. I'm gonna try to grab that thing. I'm looking at an island right now. I got a helicopter being delivered. This is not about money. It's about, I need stories to tell because it builds the brand out and it gets people excited about, dude, this guy's going some places.
I think I needed to hear that again. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
doing that, but I keep leveling
And that's what
up.
10X is.
Yes.
10X is, hey, don't settle on the one thing you're doing. Find another 9 things you can add to that. Half of them are gonna fall apart, okay? You're gonna be disappointed on 2 or 3 of them. You might get one that wasn't even good for you, okay? But out of that 10, too many people rely on too few things. You know, so I don't, like in our real estate business, we never rely on one bank. I'm gonna go to 3 or 4 banks, get quotes on 3 or 4 banks, because I don't wanna be taken advantage of by one source or be disappointed by one source. Same thing with social media. You know, we don't rely on Instagram or Facebook. LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, I use them all. I just bang them all to death.
If I've ever showed up in my past, you know, and lied, those things are present for a short period of time. Mm-hmm. But some of these people that I told what was otherwise than good news have been my biggest supporters.
Yeah.
Those people, those hard talks, people can't have them.
Yeah.
And so honestly, you said you did too many interviews, but man, I saw a different spot or a different part of you in some of these interviews that I was like, damn, that undercover billionaire was probably the best thing, like you said, and the worst thing he did. But
Yeah, look, when I spent 35 years building a name.
Yeah.
And paying it, like it's a crazy world we live in because the very thing I spent all this time building, I've been trying to get a TV show for 10 years. So, because I knew if I could get my brand out there, it would explode the brand, it would be better for my business, and make it easier for my guys. And then I get this opportunity, and the deal is you got to lose your name. You can't use your social media. I spent I don't even know what it's taken to build this social media following that I have. Can't use my social, can't use my name, and I got a good head of hair and I got to shave it, you know, because I could not have gone anywhere without the shaved head. Now, the people watching this right now, like, I don't even know who you are. Well, if you go anywhere with me, I got a big community of people under 30 years old that know who I am, even my voice. Like I was in one meeting in Pueblo doing this undercover billionaire, probably in the 4th week. And I'm doing a meeting like this with a guy, shaved head, got a big beard on, and the guy's like, excuse me one second, anybody ever tell you sound just like Grant Cardone? I said, man, I hear that all the time. But this guy right here, notice this guy right here, he looks like Ben Affleck. Yeah. And the guy, he completely got distracted. He's like, he does look like Ben Affleck. And then the guy starts telling, I got a buddy of mine, looks like Damon, blah, blah, blah. And so I distracted him with this Ben Affleck comment, right? And we moved on and did a deal. Because when I was in Pueblo shooting the show, if I got discovered as Grant Cardone, we had to throw the deal away.
Oh,
so the goal was they gave me $100. I got to build $1 million business in 90 days. I met with the president of Discovery, Nancy Daniels. I said, look, I'm going to do a $10 million business. And she's like, what? I said, I'm going to do a $10 million business. I don't need the $100. I'll do it in less than 90 days. And I'll pay you $1 million in cash if I can't pull it off. And she's like, are you for real? She looked at me, are you real? Are you playing with me right now? I said, no, I'm not playing with you. Let's go. So there was only a couple conditions I had. And it had to start when I left this big event I was doing. And let's go. And it needed to play in 2020. Well, we didn't know COVID was going to happen. So I hit Pueblo. I leave a meeting with Kevin Hart in front of 12,000 people. I was interviewing Kevin. 12,400 people, Mandalay Bay, the whole place is ours. It's 10Xs everywhere. It's my annual deal I do every year. I get on my plane, shave my head, fly to Pueblo. It's 15 degrees. There's maybe 5 hours before the sun goes down. And I got a shaved head. I have a new name, Louis Curtis, $100 in my pocket. And I don't even know where to go. And it's cold and I don't like cold weather and I don't have any food, dude. I don't have food, I don't have water, I don't have a place to sleep. I know no one, my family's not with me and I don't have my crew. And I can't use my name. Like the point is the very thing that I spent all these years using in the thing that I finally wanted, which was a show, right? I couldn't use my name. So be careful what you ask for,
right?
You know? And then once you get it, man, you better make the most of it. That show, those 3 months was the hardest 90 days of my entire life.
it looked like it
It was
tested
brutal, man. Not being like everywhere I went, I had, hey, my name's Lewis Curtis. Like every morning, I wrote it on my mirror. I am Lewis Curtis. I had to literally practice this thousands of times because millions of times I said, hey, my name's Grant Cardone, and introduced myself. I've been trying to make this name, right? We're all out there trying to get known for doing something, and then now I'm in this situation where I can't use who I am. Like my superpower was taken away from me. Like it was like, I don't know what it is, but somewhere above 50 years old, when I start going into the mountains, I just get crushed for 7 days, 7 or 8 days. And I can't focus, I can't think well, I lose my energy, and I think something's wrong with me. I forget every time I go into the mountains. I mean, I think Pueblo's at 9,000 feet, so I wasn't even thinking about it. Like, you gotta remember, they're dropping me off my pilots knew where we were going, I didn't know. They had to sign NDA saying, do not tell Mr. Cardone where he's going. So we left Vegas with Discovery. They're on the plane with me. And all I know is that we're going from Vegas, we're going south and east. And I'm like, okay, we're going to Texas, we're going to Houston. I'm sitting in my mind. How much fuel did you guys put on the plane? Because I'm trying to calculate where we're going.
Sure. Okay,
so I mean, I know enough about how our plane works. And so I'm like, okay, we must be going somewhere in Colorado, okay? And I'm like, they're not gonna go to Denver. I can't go to Denver. They can't bring me to a major city. Colorado Springs, no. And then they're like, hey, we're going to Pueblo. I said, Pueblo? We're in Colorado. We're not in New Mexico. I thought Pueblo was in New Mexico. And they're like, no, we're going to Pueblo, Colorado. So I go on this new phone they give me. I have Wi-Fi on my plane. And I'm like, Pueblo, what is it? 112,000 people. And I start doing my homework, man. I'm racing. And they're like, what's going on with you? I'm like, dude, I'm trying to figure out how to take this 90 days and shrink it into 45 days. I'm gonna pick up 10 million bucks out of this little town. And I just gotta stay focused. So there's so many behind the scenes stories about this show. It's freaking crazy. This is reality TV.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there figuring out, okay, what's my plan? And they looked at me and said, what's your plan when you get to Pueblo? I said, 3 things. Number 1, first thing I'm gonna do is take this $100 you gave me. I still have it in my pocket. I'm gonna take the $100 and I'm dropping it off at the bank. And they're like, well, you're gonna need that money. I said, I don't need $100. Okay? I'll never spend the 100. By the way, the entire 90 days, I never tapped that $100. Number 2, I'm gonna go to the gym and work out. They didn't tell this story on the show. So I'm giving you something that nobody can get any other place, okay? So I said, number 2, I'm going to a gym. They're like, why are you going to a gym, man? You got 89 days. When you hit town, you're down to 89 days. I'm like, because gyms have people in them. And I need people, I don't need money. So I'm gonna go to a gym and I'm gonna keep going to gyms until I find the right people in this town. The third thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go find a business that's for sale on the first day I'm in town, and I'm gonna go try to buy that business. This is what happened the first day. I dropped off my $100 at Wells Fargo. Number 2, I went to a gym and worked out. I didn't like that gym, so I went to another gym and worked out there and met Matt Smith, who I ended up doing the deal with. And the third place I went to was an RV park that was for sale 9 months before and had an ad. And I went there and that's where I slept that night. So the next morning when I woke up, dude, I had altitude sickness. I'm banged, I got headaches, I got pressure on me. I'm, like my skin's freaking aching, my back hurts. It's 15 degrees, I didn't have a heater all night, no place to piss. So I'm waking up, I'm like, oh my God, man, what am I gonna do here? I called my wife and I said, I'm done. I don't need to do this. I need to pull out of this before it gets out of hand. I don't need to spend 2 days here. This is a bad idea. Mm-hmm. I'm calling Discovery and telling them I'm out. I did that every day for 84 days. And every day for 84 days, my wife would put me back together over the phone. She was in Miami and she'd be like, you're not quitting. You need to do this. You can do it. Do it for the kids. I'm like, okay. So she'd get another day out of me. And then I'd call back. I'm done. I'm finished. Okay. And she'd be like, you have to do this, Grant. Okay. People know you're doing it. You have to do this. And I'm like, okay. And then by the like 7 days into it, I'm like, I'm done. Elena, I can't do it anymore. It's terrible. I'm sick. I feel terrible. This is all before COVID, by the way. We still had full employment in America. We were 3% employment. Like there was still opportunity. And then on the 10th day, I finally get a check. Elena's kept me together for 10 days. My wife, Elena. And on the 10th day, I finally get my first check. I'm living off in somebody else's RV on other people's money, running around town asking for food and water. And finally get my first check and Discovery says, hey, we're pulling the plug on the show. I said, pulling the plug on the show, you're kidding, right? And they said, no, this COVID thing. This was before COVID was even a word. COVID is real, country's gonna get shut down, we have a liability problem, we have to shut the production down. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not coming back. And you'll see the show in the second episode where I'm leaving, and I'm like, this is never gonna happen again. Elena would then put me back together 2.5 months later, put me on a plane and send me back to Pueblo. So I don't know if she's trying to get rid of me or, but it was the hardest thing I did. So when I go back, getting hit in the face one time, when you don't know what's coming, when you get cold cocked, that's one thing. When you know you're gonna get hit the second time, like the first time I didn't know what I was getting into. The second time when I'm flying back, the entire 4-hour flight, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go back to altitude sickness. I gotta go back and start over. I gotta be this Lewis Curtis character again. I got to go through the pain of not having anything, no place to sleep. Like, it was freaking brutal.
So what do you do to rise above that?
Well, you got to go back and find the why. Yeah. Like, if you don't have a why, you'll never figure out the how. Yeah. So I just kept saying, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? And it's back to what I was saying earlier, the story, man. You need stories. I need stories that are compelling, because I don't want to go back and tell that story about getting beat up. I don't want to go back to the story about where I was a drug addict for 10 years. I don't want to go back to the story of losing my dad and my brother when I was a kid. Like that story is so old. What is my new story? What am I doing now? And it can't be, oh, I bought a plane. It can't be, oh, I wrote 8 books. It can't be what I did. What am I doing? And I think so many people become dissatisfied and depressed in life because what they did will never fill them up. What I'm doing, okay, will give me a sense of success. Is like water, man. You need more. You need more water. I still need to hydrate, and I think a lot of people say, like, I don't need more success. Yeah, you do need it. You need a story to tell, and people need to see the example that you're living life, fulfilling your potential.
You guys have this thing going on here. The energy is right.
Yeah, we can't fake that. If you guys were in the morning meeting, you just can't fake that.
That's right. It's
just like we've had Fortune 150 companies here. They're walking in this meeting like, dude, how do you create this culture? Well, it's not me creating it. It's my team holding this together. I wasn't at the meeting. So the reason I'm not at the meeting is I want it to extend beyond me. There's going to be a day when I'm never here. Yeah. Right? I'm not here, period. And I won't be on this planet. And I want that thing to continue, this 10X thing that we have going on, to continue to vibrate and excite and stimulate people and think about, man, could I do more? I'm doing one thing. Could I do 10 more things?
Right. Again, thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is there anything else that you would tell the viewers about Undercover Billionaire or somebody that's watching this?
Yeah, I'll just tell you, like, if you ever watch reality TV and ask yourself, is that real? That show's real. What I did for 90 days and them documenting, they followed me and 2 women. I think the 2 women get dropped off in what cities were they? Fresno and Tacoma. I don't know what they did while they were there. I was not there. I know what I did while I was there, while I was in Pueblo. And I know that, the crew, like, it was hard. It was hard during COVID. What the crew went through, what Discovery went through, what I went through, it was extremely difficult. It is not a produced show, meaning it's not scripted.
Yeah.
And what you see me do over 90 days will prove to you the American dream is alive and well. Anyone can finance it. You finance it not by going to the bank. You finance it by going to people. You don't need credit. You don't need money. You do need a dream. And you do need to take action, and you got to get up and you got to put yourself in play. And if you follow me, I won't have to lecture to you. Just watch what I do for 90 days, and I think you'll be like, God dang, dude, that was kind of crazy.
Wow, talk about energy, guys. That is something I've been trying to tap into for a long time, and now I'm here in the flesh. That is my American dream. You just saw it unfold on camera. And so if you have a dream out there, please go for it and keep tuned in for the next episode of Financing the American Dream, and we'll see what other dreams are coming true.